I've noticed that on Zillow, there's some properties sitting on there for like 3 or 4 months. Guys, welcome in or welcome back. We're going to be talking about why rental prices are continuing to drop in San Diego and the broader San Diego County. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's not just because of the cost of living, because that would be not only a boring video, but I would sound like one of those doom gloom real estate guru guys on YouTube. And that's actually not what is happening here locally in San Diego. So I want to break down for you a couple different things, okay? First off, the San Diego County population is declining, okay? Lost over about 5,000 people in the last 12 months. And the city of San Diego has actually gained a little bit of people, but it's a small amount. It's not crazy. It's not worth talking about. But what we're having in San Diego, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Have you guys been driving around and seen like a ton of for lease signs, a for rent, a no deposit, a 1 month, 2 month free advertisements, especially like in downtown where you have these massive signs draped over the side of the high-rise apartment complexes saying free month of rent, no deposit, $99 deposit. They're starting to be kind of like everywhere, right? Especially if you get into Chula Vista, National City, some of these places. It's like for rent signs everywhere. But it's a little bit more than that, guys. Let me break down the numbers for you. So in the last year, San Diego has increased their amount of rental units 5,400. The year prior was 5,000, and this year alone we're set to release 4,000 new rental units to the rental market. Now that's about 15,000 new units in a city that's not really gaining too much population, in a county that's losing residents, and I guess in an environment where the cost of living seems to be pretty apparent that it's pretty high. So let's take that a step further, because that's not really enough for you here on a Sunday. Have you guys ever heard of the Irvine Company? It's like one of the largest, I don't know if it's the largest, it's one of the largest landholder companies in holding companies in Southern California and in California, probably in the entire United States if I had to go to bat with that question. But are you guys in the Irvine apartments at all? Have you guys been looking at those prices? And what is the Irvine Company? It's basically like these massive planned developments that are all stretched across LA County, San Diego County, Orange County. I used to live in them, so I've been getting a lot of emails from them basically begging me to come back and rent their apartments. So I go on their website, I find my old apartment, I look at the price. The price is literally almost identical to what I paid when I moved in at the end of 2021. Okay, and why is Irvine Company so popular? Well, I'm gonna answer that pretty quickly for people that don't know what I'm about to say. These big companies like the Irvine Company are the best companies to look at in times that we currently live in, where we are thinking that the rental prices are going to go down. See, the Irvine Company doesn't like dropping their prices. They like raising their prices because they have the best units available in any market. If you go to an Irvine property, an Irvine Company property, they're the best of the best. They're the cleanest, the nicest, the most updated, the best. It doesn't matter if it's a 20, 30-year-old property. It's going to be better than any other non-Irvine Company property around, even if it's the same age, same time build, all that stuff. So it's a great indication to look at the current state of the market, this current state of the rental market. All right, people are defaulting on loan obligations. They're defaulting on credit. We have all-time highs with car repossessions and all these things that you hear on the internet every single day. But when the Irvine Company starts dropping their prices and starts giving incentives to move into their properties, you can kind of guess that things could get a bit rocky, okay? Things could get a bit rocky, and that's exactly what's going on in San Diego. And I'm going to take it a quick step further too. For any landlord that is, if you have 1 unit you're renting, or you have 100 units, or however size your property management is and your investment properties, however many you have, I've noticed that on Zillow, there's some properties sitting on there for like 3 or 4 months. maybe reach out to me, guys, because you guys are very confused, okay? Landlords that are trying to get these high rents in parts of San Diego and they're not getting a renter in there within 30 days, you guys are senile, all right? You're never gonna rent that place, ever in a million years. So I see a lot of these too. I see a lot, and I kind of want to pick on local landlords because, you know, I went on Zillow the other day and I couldn't believe how many units we're seeing on Zillow. You know, where an owner goes on there and they post their rental unit. You know, you can put a description, you can put some photos. It makes it look like it's, you know, a professional listing and whatnot. And I just could not believe how many I saw in like how many days they've been sitting. Like, I mean, my God, if you start looking at the property taxes these landlords are paying each year, and not only that, if they have a mortgage or a refi on them or a, you know, any of these debt instruments tied to those rentals, these landlords are losing their ass. And I don't want to say good riddance, but I kind of do, because, you know, the prices on them don't make any sense, right? I don't know what they're thinking. So we're also seeing another phenomenon. Let's talk about something different too. Let's skip topics here. So we're also seeing another phenomenon take place in San Diego as well. We're seeing people that bought these homes back in 2021, 22, 23. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at the public record on Zillow. You can see what they paid for the home. They bought the home. They rented the home successfully, or the townhouse or the condo, successfully for, in some cases, 1 or 2 years. But now what I'm seeing is, because you can see when on Zillow, if you go down to the public record, you can see what they paid for the home, right? And anybody can do this. You don't have to be a realtor to do this. See what they paid for the home. You can see that they listed the home on Zillow. You can see that it came off the market, means somebody rented it. A year later, you'll see it come back on the market. They, in some cases, listed the home again. And now what you're seeing is, and this is kind of the capitulation moment of the video, is you see them go back on the market to rent it in 2025. You see them drop the price 3 or 4 times. And now in 2026, guess what they're doing, guys? They're selling the properties, and they're not selling. They're accumulating days on market at not even an increased price from what they bought it for in 2021. And this is indeed happening in San Diego County. You can go into Riverside County. It's happening even more. I did a video on Temecula the other week. Go back and watch. I'll try to do more updated videos. But it's like the farther you go away from the beach, the demand is not there, right? And this applies to San Diego as well. I mean, San Diego residents aren't immune to this. That's why you're seeing areas like Fallbrook, Rainbow, and other areas going in towards Riverside face the same problem. El Cajon, Lemon Grove, these areas. Yeah, these homeowners that were trying to get these ridiculous premiums for their property. And they were getting them for a while. Like, people were actually taking, you know, they were drinking the Kool-Aid for a while. But I think in 2026, I think, you know, where we're currently at in this market, I think people are becoming a little bit more savvy on just paying a premium for rent. You know, here on my channel, you guys know that, you know, right now I'm looking at San Diego skyline, but I'm standing down here in Playas de Tijuana, because I got to the point where, you know, for me, you know, I'm not gonna spend $3,200 on a shoebox apartment and, you know, have no investment money for my portfolio. That's kind of what I fall back on. There's a certain lifestyle I want, and people that are in Southern California, there's a certain lifestyle. They don't want to come out here and, you know, just work to death, work a 40-hour-a-week job, and, you know, have a shoebox apartment only to, you know, pinch pennies on the weekend. You know, it's just not any kind of life for these people living out here. People come to Southern California to make a lot of money, to invest a lot of money, to spend a lot of money in the local economy. And right now, these landlords over the last couple of years have been taking all the money, right? Irvine Company, private landlords. And now we're kind of reaching this point where we're kind of pushing back and saying, you guys are going to take the debt load a little bit. We're not paying this anymore. People are finding alternative ways to navigate this high inflation economy. So I don't know really, guys, know what you think about it, but I hope that you guys, we can continue talking about this. I do think it's going to give a massive opportunity to people that are interested in moving to San Diego. It's going to give price breaks. We're going to have people that are going to be able to get in apartments much cheaper than they could in the last couple years. And really a lot of these apartments too, if you look at the price dynamics behind them, if you're getting 2 months free and no deposit, you know, you take that 10 months and you divide it by 12 and you find out your rent's actually not that bad. And that's happening with new apartments. That's the scary part. It's not like you're having these old, you know, apartment complexes built in the 60s and 70s. See, a lot of times those apartments have fulfilled their debt obligations a lot more than the newer ones. So really, if you look at the newer rents, the brand new builds in National City, the high-rise condos and apartments in downtown San Diego, you know, if you look at these kind of places out in Mission Valley and all this stuff, that's where you're seeing these massive inflated prices for the last few years finally start to come down to reality, to a place where me and you live on Earth. So I don't know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments. I'm going to keep covering this. If you're a landlord, some local news that you should be aware about in the state of California, they passed last week. You got to provide a fridge and a stove and oven. It's a non-negotiable. Starting today, rent caps increase is dropped from 8.8% last year to 8.2%, which is kind of signaling from the state and the city for these landlords not to raise the rent anymore. Not that a lot of them were. I mean, when you start seeing the Irvine Company and private landlords not raise the rents at all in a 5-year period, I mean, that's a pretty clear indication of where the market is currently at and where the rental market and home ownership market is going. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Appreciate you guys watching. As always, take care. I will see you in the next video. Take care.